Once upon a time, in a peaceful village in Nigeria called Zoboro, there lived a girl named Aisha. She was known for her kindness. No matter how little she had, she always shared with others. If she had only one piece of yam, she would cut it in half and give it away. If she saw an old woman carrying a heavy load, she would run to help. Aisha lived with her grandmother, Mama Zainab, who often told her, kindness is like a seed. When you plant it, it grows into something wonderful. Aisha always listened carefully, for she loved learning from her grandmother's wisdom. One hot afternoon, as Aisha walked to the river to fetch water, she heard a groan from behind a bush. Curious, she stepped closer and saw an old woman struggling to carry a heavy bundle of firewood. The woman's face was tired, and sweat dripped down her forehead. "Grandmother, let me help you," Aisha said, quickly lifting the firewood onto her own small shoulders. The old woman smiled and touched Aisha's cheek. "You have a kind heart, my child," she said. "Because you have helped me, I will give you a special gift." She reached into her cloth bag and brought out a beautiful calabash. It was small but had carvings of animals and stars on its surface. "Take this calabash," she said, "but do not open it until you truly need help." Aisha thanked her and carried the calabash home, wondering about its secret. That evening, the village prepared for a great feast. Smoke from roasting yams and fish filled the air, and drums echoed through the village square. But as Aisha walked through the crowd, she saw an old beggar sitting alone, his ribs showing through his thin skin. She walked up to him and placed her bowl of food in his hands. "Eat, Baba, you must be hungry," she said kindly. The old man's eyes filled with tears. "May kindness always follow you," he whispered. The next morning, disaster struck. When the villagers woke up, their fields were dry, their yams had withered, and worst of all, the river had disappeared. People ran in panic, searching for water, but the riverbed was nothing but cracked earth. The village elders gathered in the square. "What do we do?" the people asked. Aisha thought about the old woman's words. "Maybe now is the time," she whispered to herself. She ran home, took the calabash, and said a short prayer before carefully lifting the lid. A warm light shone from inside, and to her amazement, the calabash was filled with golden cowries, fresh fruits, and a small vial of water. Aisha gasped in wonder. Without wasting time, she ran to the village elders. "Take this," she said, handing them the vial. "Pour it on the ground where the river once flowed." The elders did as she said. As soon as the water touched the dry earth, the deep rumbling sound filled the air. The villagers watched in awe as clear fresh water gushed from the ground, flowing once again through the village. But Aisha wasn't done yet. She took the magical fruits from the calabash and scattered them across the fields. Instantly, the crops turned green. The yam vines stretched toward the sky and the fruit trees blossomed again. The villagers cheered, dancing and singing. The chief called Aisha to the palace and said, "You have saved our village, Aisha. How can we ever repay you?" Aisha bowed and smiled. "I ask for nothing, my king, only that we always help one another in times of need." That night, the villagers held the biggest feast Zoboro had ever seen. No one was left hungry. They danced under the moonlight, celebrating Aisha's kindness. As Aisha walked home, she saw the old woman standing by the river, watching her with a proud smile. "You have passed the test, my child," the woman said, her voice gentle and full of warmth. In that moment, Aisha realized the old woman was no ordinary person. She was a spirit of kindness sent to teach a lesson to the village. But not everyone was happy about Aisha's kindness. Her neighbor, Mansa, watched everything with jealousy. "Why does she get all the praise?" he muttered. Mansa was lazy and selfish. He never helped others, yet he always wanted the best things. Determined to get a magical calabash for himself, He went to the river, pretending to help an old man. Soon the mysterious woman appeared again and gave him a calabash. Unlike Aisha, Mansa couldn't wait. He ran home, shut the door, and quickly opened the calabash, expecting gold and treasure. But instead, a loud buzzing filled the room. Before he could react, a swarm of angry bees flew out, stinging him on his arms, legs, and face. Mansa screamed and ran through the village, swatting at the bees. The villagers laughed as they watched him stumble into the river. Aisha, however, felt sorry for him. She took some honey from her magical calabash and rubbed it on his skin. Slowly, the bees calmed down and flew away. Mansa looked at Aisha with shame. I was greedy and I wanted everything for myself. But you helped me, even after I was unkind to you. The old woman appeared once again, nodding. Kindness is not about what you receive, but what you give. You have learned your lesson, Mansa. From that day on, Mansa changed. He started helping others, not for reward, but because it was the right thing to do. The villagers forgave him, and he became one of the most hardworking people in Zoboro. As for Aisha, her magical calabash never ran out of food. She continued to share it with the village, ensuring that no one ever went hungry again. One evening, the spirit woman came to Aisha and said, "Your kindness has brought light to this village. You will be blessed forever." And indeed, Aisha's name was remembered for generations. Years later, when Aisha grew old, she taught the children of Zoboro that kindness is the greatest treasure of all. Every year, the village celebrated the Kindness Festival in her honor, reminding everyone to always help one another. As time passed, Aisha's story spread far and wide. People from other villages traveled to Zoboro just to hear the tale of the kind girl and the magical calabash. Kindness is a gift that never runs out. When you give to others, you receive even more in return. Aisha's story teaches us that true wealth is not gold, but a kind heart.